We are one day away from Kentucky taking on Troy in the NCAA tournament. Exciting time in the state of Kentucky. Mark Pope's first NCAA tournament. All of Big Blue Nation is fired up, and it sounds like there's going to be a lot of blue up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're going to break down this game, talk about the players to know from Troy. What does Kentucky have to do to win? We'll talk about all that on today's episode of the Wildcats Today Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined, as always, by Carson. Nash. Carson, we haven't had any buzzer beaters yet. We're recording this. It's 3:20 on Thursday, so have any games gone final yet? I haven't really checked the scoreboard.
There's been two games.
Well, Purdue won. Purdue won.
And then Purdue won. There's another one. I think it was the 8-9 matchup.
Was it the Baylor Mississippi State?
No. They play later. Later.
Was it Gonzaga Georgia?
No.
Which one are we forgetting?
I'm forgetting. I think they played at Rupp.
Oh, was it? It was Louisville.
Oh,
they lost?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I thought they were like really upset about being an 8 seed.
We are so sorry.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry, guys. I just hate it for them, man. I hate it for them.
And that game wasn't even competitive.
And nice job to the I almost cursed, to the moron that threw the water bottle. Real classy, guys. Real classy to our water bottle.
Don't ever disrespect Rupp Arena like that again.
Yeah, just because you haven't won there since the Bush administration, or what was it? The Bush administration.
It was.
You can't throw water bottles, okay? I mean, we thought you were at least maybe a hair better than Tennessee, and they're gonna go throwing water bottles. No, same thing, and we knew that. We got tricked, but yeah, sir. All making fun of stupid Louisville aside, it is NCAA tournament time, and it's exciting. And the Cats play tomorrow night at, is it 7:10 or 7:20? 7:10. 7:10 tomorrow night against the Troy Trojans. 7:10 on CBS tomorrow night. So Carson, I mean, quick hitter. If I said one thing that is going to make or break this game for Kentucky, what would that be?
I think it's turnovers, but
okay.
I also think there's a 1A and a 1B, right? Mm-hmm. The offensive rebounding for Troy would probably be the 1B. So I think keeping control of the ball, because they're so poor at offense, and we don't want them to get in transition and get easy baskets. So turnovers, keeping the ball safe is huge. And then, of course, boxing out and not letting them get second chance opportunities.
Yeah, because they jack it up. In these games. I mean, watching the film on Troy, they let them fly now, and they don't go in a lot. But that's how. I mean, it almost seems like that's their offense, is like offensive rebounds to layups to kickouts for threes. Because the interesting thing about Troy is, and we talked about it yesterday. If y'all missed this, we did a 3 keys to victory for Kentucky. So go check that. It's a shorter one. It was like 13 minutes. So go check that out. But we talked about the 3-point attempts per game. And I asked you, Carson, and I think you were quite surprised, which I was too when I first saw the stat. But Troy is 70th in college basketball in 3-point attempts per game at 25.6, which has them 2 spots ahead of Kentucky, or behind Kentucky, who shoots 25.7. So they shoot them. It's not like they're a team who shoots it 14 times a game. That's just not the way they play. They're shooting almost 26 threes a game. They want to shoot them. They don't go in a lot. So expect a lot of long rebounds. They're going to crash the board. They're going to try and beat you that way. So that's why, to me, rebounding is the number one thing we got to pay attention to. But I think that you're right. The taking care of the basketball, we've had our turnover issues at times this year. I mean, they've been legitimately problematic. And knowing this team, I think it was they're 54th best in college hoops when it comes to creating turnovers or opponent turnovers.
And I preface it with this, like, I feel a whole lot better about it with Lamont on the court, but at the same time, we don't really know the true severity of his injury, right? Yeah. Like, he could be out there just to be out there, or he could be 100%. Who knows? So with Lamont out there, I do feel good about it.
I think he's duct taped up right now. It's hard to feel good about him health-wise, but That's what's, I'll be honest with you, this does scare me. I mean, just one wrong fall. Because, I mean, my confidence in this team making a run without Lamont is, I mean, it's not like hurt. It's like, well, that's that. I lose all confidence. So keeping him healthy is going to be important. So Troy themselves, their team, I'm going to pull up the name of their really good player. His name is Tayton Connerway. And Mark Pope described him as their do-it-all guy. Everything runs through him. He averages 14.3 points per contest, 4.6 rebounds, 4.8 assists. He shoots 47% from the field. He gets 2.9 steals per game. So he's a do-it-all player. He won Sunbelt Player of the Year. And to win Sunbelt Player of the Year, only averaging 14.3 points, you've got to add some rebounds and assists and steals, and he's done that. And that's kind of where the stat sheet is there. I
think it's interesting, Andrew, that him and Miles Rigsby are the two Trojans that average over 10 points a game. No one else on their team does.
Yeah. I mean, they're not a high volume scoring team. And Conaway, for example, only shoots 4 3-pointers a game, which makes sense because he shoots sub 30%. I'd hope he doesn't shoot more than that if you're the coach. But, they average 73.9 points per game. I mean, that's not a lot. Not a lot of points. But I mean, they're solid in every other aspect of the game. They rebound about 39 times a game. They assist 13.9 times per game, which isn't great, isn't horrible. But yeah, the 3-point percentage is the big issue for Troy. They shoot 29.9%, which has him as something like 344th out of like 355 teams. So they're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in college basketball. But that does not mean, once again, they shoot a lot of them, Carson. We've established that. Get a hand. Just don't look at that percentage and say, well, they can't shoot. They're gonna. And if they come out and they make 4 in a row to start the game and you get into a deficit, get a hand in the face. I know they're maybe not an elite shooting team percentage-wise, but they're going to let them fly. It just takes that one game where you get hot. So we got to defend them well, as I'm saying. Don't just be like, we'll defend the paint and let them shoot. No, let's get out there and get a hand in their face.
I like how you said if they come out and hit a couple threes early, because my big point in this game as well is starting off hot, right? Yeah. Because Troy, we know they are not a good offensive team. So if we can get up by 10 to 15 points at any point in this game, it's over at any point. So getting hot early, getting a hot start could make this game get out of hand quick.
I'm looking through their like season long, just the final scores, and it's a lot of 69-72, 66-67. Like it's a lot of not a lot of 80-point games. They're not good. They're a good defensive team. But here's the thing. For those, now I'm not saying don't be concerned for the game. It's a basketball game. You got to go out there and play. You don't play well, this team can beat you. That's reality. But they aren't scoring against Sunbelt teams. And I find it, I'd say somewhat difficult to believe that I know Kentucky's defense isn't elite, but Kentucky's defense is
top 20 defensive efficiency since February 15th.
That's a great example. But once again, who are they defending? They're defending the best teams in college basketball, not these Sunbelt teams. So I know our defense isn't elite when it comes to like Power 4 competition, but it's been better of late, but it's going to be elite, I believe, against Sunbelt competition. I mean, look at what we did. There's a reason that we're 10-0 in quad 3 and 4 games. If they came to us this year, this would be a quad 3 game, I believe, based on where they are.
I mean, so.
And we've been great in these games. Mark Pope has historically as well. So this is a game we need to not overthink it, overstress about it. And I said this on yesterday's show, Carson. I think you agree with me. I mean, I think Kentucky fans, we get too much of these 14 seeds, 15 seeds are the boogeyman. Whoa, we've lost. They don't need to be. We should win this game by 15 or 20 points. We should. Whether or not we do is to be seen. But that's kind of my argument here is, if we show up and play our game tomorrow, we're going to win by a wide margin. And it's going to be a home game because I don't think Troy's traveling up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm just going to be honest. And I think there's going to be a lot of blue up there. It's a short drive, for not a short drive, but not like we're not going to California. Mm-hmm. So I think we're going to travel well. And Carson, I mean, I think this is going to be the game that we're no longer going to have to worry about these 14, 15 seeds. I think Mark Pope's going to say, don't worry. We're going to win this by a lot. And the next year, when we play a 15 seed as a 2 seed, we're not sitting here biting our nails going, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah, and I saw something Kobe Brea said that I thought was really good today. And, last year you could say, oh, the lights were too big for most of our freshmen. Kobe Brea in the media, I think it was either today or yesterday, said that we all came from lower schools. We're all transfers. So we all have that underdog mentality always. So the lights will never be too big. They'll never be the ones that were chosen first. So I don't see that problem of them thinking they're too good for the Troy Trojans being a problem.
I didn't see that that quote, but that's really, really cool. Because, I mean, think about it, like Amari Williams, Drexel, Ainsley Almanor, Farley Dickinson. I don't know if you can really call Dayton, but, still. Dayton.
Yeah.
And I'm saying I think he's knocking himself a bit. I'm saying I don't know if I'd put Dayton in that category as those schools, but, like, they weren't DJ Wagner and Justin Edwards and, Aaron Bradshaw and these top 10 players in the class. They just weren't. And, it's the earn not given mentality. I know we like to say that here in Lexington, Kentucky, but seriously, I think that's what it is for these players. They've earned this opportunity and they're not going to let Troy send them home in March. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just think this team is too veteran, too fundamental, too good of a coach. I just think a lot of last year was schematics. And I mean, like, how the hell do you let a plumber hit 15 threes against you? But so I just don't believe that that's going to happen this year. I think Pope's got these guys ready to go. And another thing that I saw that was really cool, Pope apparently made the team have a team bonding session last night, and they all watched Remember the Titans. Probably my favorite movie of all time. Don't fumble my football. You run a mile.
You drop a pass, you run a mile.
Yeah, it's a great film. So I'm sure it's got the guys fired up.
That's what I say to my fantasy football team every year. You drop a pass, you run a mile. I say it every year. I send them direct messages.
Left side, strong side.
But we've talked about it all week. We talked about it some on the live or with the brackets. We talked about it when we found our draw. We know what Troy's good at. They're a good defensive team. They're really good on the offensive glass. They create turnovers. They can't shoot the threes all that well. That's who they are. We know they're players. I mean, once again, and we've talked about, that's the guy, Conaway, is a good basketball player. Mark Pope has described him as the do-it-all guy, the do-it-all for them guy. But so I guess my next question for you, Carson, is who do you want to see in this specific game show up and play well for the Cats?
Yeah, I think that's an easy question here. I would love for Lamont Butler to step up and play well, because I think that gives Kentucky fans a sigh of relief. And I also think it gives us a chance to go a lot farther in this tournament. So also their best player's a guard. So I think that's crucial. Lamont has to have pressure defense, because listen, as good as Troy is at turning teams over, they also turn the ball over a lot. So I think us with ball pressure and getting open looks and get transition points and opportunities will be huge for us, and not letting them get set in defenses and switching up zones on us. So I think that's going to be key in this game.
The player I think is it could be my MVP pick. What's their tallest player they're on out there, Carson?
It's Thomas Dowd. I don't know.
Okay.
How you pronounce it.
And he is how tall?
He's 6'8".
And Amari Williams is how tall?
7 feet tall.
And he weighs how many pounds?
About 265. He's a brick shit house.
I don't think I need no more analysis. There you go. There's your analysis. Amari, listen, I'm preaching right now to the choir. Listen, okay? Back there are behinds down to the rim and dunk on somebody. I mean, seriously, Amari, we had that conversation, Carson, like probably a month and a half ago in the beginning of SEC play. We're like, dude, you are like 7'2", 384 pounds of pure muscle. Just go kill somebody down low. This is a game he should be able to score every single time the ball gets in his hands, because not only is he large and strong, but he's skilled and fluid with the basketball. I think Amari needs to have a good day, and I think it's going to be an efficient day. I think it's going to be one of those like 7 for 9 from the field with for 21 points and 13 rebounds kind of game for Amari, because he should be able to You could say the same thing for Andrew Carr.
That's what I
He
was
should
going to
be
say.
Yeah.
That's going to be my pick probably because
Yeah.
I think he's strung 2 good games together back to back. So I think, and Andrews has a lot better touch around the rim than Amari does. So I think Andrew being able to get into good positions because I mean they clearly do not have the size to match us.
Yeah.
Allowing him to get easy baskets and then work inside out, kind of what we saw Creighton do today against Louisville because they had the clear size advantage. That will be crucial for our success against Troy.
So I guess my next question within this conversation for us to have here has to do with, Otega Owe, I think you want to see him drive the ball at a high percentage in this game. But to me, and I've written this on a couple of articles, and I'll tell you, I think that we know what we're going to, and we've said it on the show before, we know what we're getting from Lamont and Amari and Andrew Carr. We know what we're getting from Otega. Like they have a narrow ceiling and floor. The player with the widest ceiling and floor on this team on a game-to-game basis is Kobe Brea. He can have a bad game and score 5 points. He can get red hot and score 27. And if you can string together 4 or 5 games of Kobe Brea being in that red hot, area, that would be incredibly ideal.
You want to hear someone who Kobe Brea reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Bryce Brown from the Auburn team that beat us in the Elite Eight, because I just think that he has that when you saw Auburn get hot in that run, it was because of him.
Yeah.
And I think Kobe has the effect of if he goes for 20 every night, you can't beat Kentucky. Like there's no way you can beat Kentucky. So he is the key for a long run. We can make it to the Sweet 16 without him going crazy, but for a longer run, Kobe Brea needs to be that guy.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. What about the Texas Longhorns losing last night? Because they came out hot, and I was like, okay, here we go. Texas is hot. This is not ideal. And then Xavier won. I went, what in the world? I mean,
yeah.
So,
I just
do you like them losing?
I don't like that they lost. I mean, I know my Texas buddy Matt. He was happy because they're getting a new coach now. But
yeah,
I just think
desperately their coach lost them that game. But go ahead.
Yeah, he did. I think they should have won that game. Honestly, that was a horrendous second half. Half. That was all on coaching. They were clearly the better team in that game. Good win for Xavier. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, it would be. But I mean, like, what if I told you could play Xavier in the round of 32? Like,
I'd take it every day. As much as like people are going to be worried about the fact that Xavier's close to us, whatever, their fans might cheer. If you told me that we have to play Xavier to go to a Sweet 16 game, I would take it every time.
You said their fan might travel? I mean, maybe, but I don't know how much of an effect that would have.
Remember when I said the only thing good to ever come out of Xavier is Jarrett Gadd? I stand by that.
Yeah, well, touche. I'm with you on that. But I mean, I kind of think that is the way that this game between Troy and Kentucky needs to be described is if we, and we said them yesterday, and I'll reiterate them, the 3 keys to victory: one and done possessions on when we're on defense. Don't let them get the second chance opportunities. Don't turn the ball over. They're going to put pressure on you. Don't turn it over. And on the flip side of that, turn them over. If we can turn them over and turn that into runouts, we're going to score a lot of points, and they can't stop us in transition. If you do those 3 things, then we're going to win this basketball.
If you turn them over more than if you turn them over more than we turn the ball over and we get more rebounds than they do, we should win this game by 20 points.
Yeah, we should cover the spread twice over if that happens.
Because their offense cannot keep up with our offense.
Yeah.
And they're a Tennessee / Texas A&M that's in the Sun Belt or whatever conference they're in.
So my last question, and then we'll give score predictions for you, Carson. I want to share our thoughts on this. Colin Chandler, how big of an X factor do you believe he's going to be in the NCAA tournament for the Cats?
I think it'll be a big X factor. I think he has to come off the bench and provide solid defense and make shots. I mean, if he can do that, you can see us go far. But if he comes off the bench and doesn't play good, and we don't get much out of Travis Perry or Trent Noah, this team's going to go home early. We need our bench to step up big time. We need Ansley. We need all the guys I just named. We need everyone. We need all hands on deck. I mean, you're missing the biggest piece of your roster, Jackson Robinson. So you got to find the production elsewhere to make up for that.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you on that. I think Colin Chandler is gonna need to step up and continue to make that freshman development that we know he can and that we've seen him do over the last few weeks. So, want to see Colin Chandler play well in this tournament and back up Lamont well, because Lamont, I mean, he's going to need a break at some point. He's still, dealing with those injuries and all that. Colin Chandler's going to have to play 10 or so minutes. If not, if you want more than that. Obviously Travis might play a few as well, but I think that's how the Cats are going to have to get some bench production, which has been an issue at times, especially when Garrison and Almonor don't make shots. So I'm with you, but I think if we do all these things, honestly, if we do all those things, we win this game by 20 or 30 points. If we do 2 of them, I think we win it by 10. If we don't do any of them, I think it's a Oakland, St. Peter's fight till the end, and hopefully we just have a better coach to win one in the end. So that's kind of the way I look at it. If you 3 of 3, you blow them out by 30. You 2 of 2, you win by 15. You do one of them, you probably win by 5-10 points. And if you don't do any of them, it is a absolute brawl dog fight for the win. So, all right, Carson, give me a score prediction and a MVP for the Cats matchup with the Trojans.
Yeah, I've got the Cats at 92. I think you can have great defense in the Sun Belt. It does not matter. We've played great defenses. We still put up 90. And then I'm going Troy 68. I think we've had enough of the crap talking, the people saying we're getting bounced early. We're going to come out and we're going to whoop some ass.
Yeah. MVP? I
got Andrew Carr. Right. I know I said Lamont needs to play good, and I want Lamont to play great, but I think Andrew Carr in this game, he's going to get whatever he wants. He's going to be a dominant force down low. That's my guy.
Yeah. I'm going 87-69 Cats, similar to what you said. I think a few points, a little tighter. So 87-69 Cats win this one. I'm taking Amari for the reasons I talked about 10 minutes ago. I think that he just needs to back into a mother trucker's face, get to the rim and dunk on somebody. That needs to be the answer. So that is my MVP pick. So Carson, I guess the plan is going to be Saturday, regardless of what happens, we are going to throw, hopefully it is a preview for either Xavier or Illinois. But Saturday, we will either talk about Saturday, we're going to preview the game is what we're going to do, because we're going to win this game, as we both just said. So
we're previewing the game Saturday. Be on the lookout for it.
So be on the lookout for it. That is the plan. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's been a fun week. If we had a show every day, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we've had a show. I think it's our 4th or 3rd of the week. I
think it might. I don't know.
Well, we did the live, and then we did yes. It's our 4th. This is our 4th show of the week. So this is our 4th show of the week. So we're getting more often here. Because we did a Monday reaction to the bracket.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday we did the live. Yesterday we did the keys to victory.
You're right.
So 4th. So we're getting more active here, folks. So hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss any of it. Big game tomorrow night. Everyone get loud. Everyone be proud. Cats need to win this one by 1 million. Have a great rest of your day. Louisville lost, and we'll see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.